Here's the magic question for the day, particularly as we are kind of lingering around the 90 degrees, and then the weather gods say, well, yeah, but this weekend we're going to be down to the 60s again. Before you know it, it's going to be 173 degrees. So the question is, how cool is your cool deck? Well, we're going to find out exactly what you can do about it. If it's chipped, if it's broken, why don't you talk to somebody who's been in business, David, since 1957?
Well, my family's been in business since 1957.
But yeah, no, I don't mean you individually, but remarkably, in this town, if you are 7 weeks old, you get seniority.
Really? Yeah, my father was one of the first installers of Cool Deck. And just a little brief history, I'm a territorial family for 6 generations. We have history in Jerome and Superior. My father's history is one of the first installers of Cool Deck in the Valley back in 1957. And what I've done in the last, since the early 70s, was develop remodel and restoration as opposed to new construction.
Well, now we know that we should talk to Deck Services first.
Absolutely.
Because you're not going to promote the other folks.
Absolutely.
However, just simply in choosing a deck company, what do we look for? What do we try to avoid?
Well, you want to be comfortable with whoever you're dealing with, the information that you're getting, and you want to make sure that what you're buying, what you're looking at on a photograph is what you're going to get. So, I mean, everybody's pictures look good, so that's why we like to bring samples out to our materials to show the customer get a tactile experience to.
Well, let's take a look, though, at some of the installations that you've made right now. Okay. As a matter of fact, that's just a sample of some of the material that can be provided for you, but this is what it looks like when it's done.
Right. Now, the top part of that is real flagstone, and the bottom part on the swimming pool deck is actually our system. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then this one is a repair. This is how I started my company, is doing repair and restoration work for my dad's company. That's a finished process. And that's a system that I developed. You don't have to drain the pool. You don't have to replace the tile or anything like that. And this is a sidewalk over on Mountain View and 32nd Street where one of those stones is our system. The rest of it's real.
Really?
Yes. And that's a finished cool stone job there. That's in Clearwater Hills. That's up in Tonto Verde. And that's in Paradise Valley.
What an architectural addition it is when you have something that looks like
this one here is the old style coping.
Yes.
The old pools. And so we can veneer the copings to make it look like stone and repair them and damage them because you can't get coping anymore.
When my deck, whatever it's made out of, is damaged, why should I particularly concern myself other than aesthetically? If I'm not having anybody over, are there any continuing damages that take place if I let it go?
It's possible. You know, it's possible. A lot of it depends on what's creating the damage.
But most of it is a beautification process?
No, well, aesthetics is a big part of that. But with this system here, the simulated flagstone, we can work with aspects of the deck that are inherent to the deck. We work the cracks in as part of a grout joint. So not if it cracks, but when it cracks.
Okay.
It's within the grout joint.
Now I'm going to hold this up so everybody can see on camera, and you can tell me what we're looking at. Okay.
This is the samples that I take out to the customers to show them what the system looks like.
What is that small piece that you're holding?
This is real flagstone.
And you can match that as you showed us in the pictures.
Pretty close. Like out front where the planters are, if the colors match up just right, we can put the samples on there, and the sample just melts right in. So I love it when customers have real flagstones, stepping stones or something like that. We can put that on there. So,
boy, you talk about adding value to a piece of property.
Aesthetically, and one of the neat things about the cool stone is that it's not hot. You cannot walk on real flagstone. It's painfully hot to walk on.
And that's the product. Cool stone is the product that you specialize in.
Right. But you know, we also do repair and restoration work on swimming pool decks, and as far as the patching acrylic decks and resurfacing the traditional cool deck pattern, we still do that. But this is our premier. This one will take jobs that other companies wanted to just jackhammer the whole thing out and put it back, and we've salvaged decks with that.
I think almost all of us who are not professionals in the field tend to say cool decking as if it is just one overall generic product.
Right, like Kleenex or as a tissue. It's a broad
But
name.
you're saying that it isn't.
No.
And how is yours superior to some of the others? And I asked that particularly because Lisa, my co-host yesterday, said, "Would you please ask David how cool it really is?" Because her family tends to go like this in the middle of the summer.
It's cool with a K. Okay. So,
Yes.
So, but the testing on it in the past is the fact that it's like 5 to 8% less hot than natural concrete, which was the area that we were talking about. Here's the advantage of CoolDeck over the other systems, is that it's an integral color system. There's no stains, there's no paints, there's no sealers. When you paint, stain, or seal any system, you densify that surface and you make it hotter. That's just physics. Okay, that's not me ragging on anybody's product. That's just physics. Also, on the pattern systems that do flagstone and tile, they make them slippery. So with this, you have the comfort, you have the aesthetics of real stone, you have the non-slip surface, and then you have the not as hot aspects of the system.
Lisa has triplets who constantly run, whether they're here in the studio or around the pool. So that non-slip thing is really important to every parent.
Absolutely. So, and it's a green product. It's all indigenous.
And I have a lot of clumsy friends, so I'm delighted to hear about the non-slip surface. But it really is important because it's so easy to take a fall, and it can be very, very dangerous. Now, tell me about the 10% discount. I want to get right down to saving some money.
All right, well, whoever uses this commercial or this what we're doing here, and they mention it.
Our interview here on AZTV.
Right, we'll give them a 10% discount on the pricing of whatever we do for them.
I'm ready to make a call right now, but I don't have a phone or a phone number. I can have a phone delivered in just a matter of moments, but I don't have the phone number unless you give it to me.
The number of the office is 602-956-2923.
Look at that. Magically.
The website is deckservices@cox.net.
Now, are you saying, though, that I can either use the phone or
we have a website
or the internet, and I can get in touch with you through email and still get the 10% discount?
Absolutely. If you mention this,
AZTV.
Right.
Or Pat McMahon.
Right.
Or that attractive two guys that just were talking about how cool it would be.
One of the neat things too is that we actually worked on Ladmo's original pool, Aquanetta, Ajax. My dad did Bill Keene's original swimming pool deck.
Yes.
I remodeled it one time with cool decking, the traditional, and then I went and did his driveway, his patio, and his pool deck in the system.
If those names are not familiar, that means you haven't been around as long as these decking people have been, and as long as I have been. Those are all special kinds of credentials that you heard about on the Morning Scramble.